Hi, my name is Walter Pender. I'm the Special Admissions Coordinator at the Plano campus of Collin College, and I'm your Special Admissions Coordinator for Rockwall ISD. I'm going to be telling you about dual credit today. I like to start off by saying that this is a ton of information. Just to say that we don't expect you to remember all of this. We don't expect you to memorize all of this. I'm going to be available. Your college and career counselor, who I'll talk about later, will be available if you guys have any questions, if you need any help with this. But we do want to get all the information out for you early so that you can make sure if you want to be a part of the program, you can. So let's jump right into it. What is dual credit? Dual credit is the opportunity to earn both high school credit and college credit in one class. Simply put, that's what it is. So for example, if you want to do dual credit English, instead of taking your high school English class, you would sign up for Collin College, sign up for one of our college English classes, and when you complete it, you get the 3 credit hours of college credit and you get high school English credit. And that's exactly what it is. As I mentioned, it counts for both high school and college credit. But not only that, we have our smaller class sizes. So when you go off to a university or if you go off to a college, some classes can be way bigger than your normal high school class sizes. I know when I was in college, when I went to LSU, I had a freshman course that had 800 students in it. That was my freshman biology. 800 students in an auditorium. Needless to say, it's a little harder for your professor to get to know you as a person, as a student, and help you succeed if there's 800 of you, right? So our classes are the normal 20 to 30 students, even smaller now considering our current circumstances. That means more one-on-one time, more educational support from your instructor. That's a huge benefit. That goes a long way because if you're there and you're working with your professor, you're talking to them, you're letting them know that you're really trying, they'll be able to help you get that passing grade down the line. Not only from instructors, though, you also get that educational support from our support services, like the writing lab or the math lab, which I'll tell you about later. You are a full-fledged Collin College student, so that means you get access to all of our resources just like anyone else will. That being said, you get to experience the full college environment and rigor of a college course. So you get to begin your college transcript. You get to take those college courses with college professors, but that also means you have the collegiate responsibilities as well when it comes to turning in your work. Your grades will follow you, so whatever you earn on your transcript, that will be sent to whatever college and universities you plan on going to down the line. So you want to be aware of that because not only is it a huge opportunity, it's a huge responsibility. Another great benefit is how much you'll save. So that dual credit English class I was just talking about, $164. That's all it'll cost. That same 3 credit hours of English at different universities in the area can be up to $3,000, can be $1,000, while you'll be spending 164 with Collin. And that's the same for a lot of our other college courses as well. So you want to take advantage of that while you can, while you're in high school, and get that lower tuition rate if you plan on going on to a university or college. Now, for you guys that are free and reduced lunch, you won't even pay the $164. Your tuition is free. So really happy you guys get to take advantage of that. The next benefit I want to talk about is that these courses are transferable. They're transferable to any public college or university in the state of Texas. Now, if we're talking about a private school, out of state school, we're not saying that they won't take the credit, but there's just an extra step in reaching out and making sure that they're gonna take that college credit. So you want to be sure to do that. Now, I would even advise doing that with the public schools in Texas as well, because depending on your major, depending on your degree, those credits can be used differently, whether an elective or as your actual core class. So you want to reach out and make sure you find out those things. Is dual credit right for you? I talked about it being an opportunity and also a responsibility. This is where we get into that. Because you are a college student, you are dealing with college professors. They're going to want you to be on time. They're going to want you to attend. They're going to want you to be attentive. They're going to want you to be engaged in the classroom. You're also going to have a level of maturity when it comes to handling all those things and showing up for class or even some of the subject matter. Parents, your students are going to be in these history courses or these English courses or whatever course they end up taking that may cover some topics that are geared for college age adults. There'll be nothing that is wildly outrageous for a high school student to see, but it will be some stuff that is geared towards a college age adult. So we want to put that out there right in the front, and students are going to have the responsibility of being mature and present for those things. You also are going to learn how to work with your syllabus and work with a college instructor. That is a huge part of being a college student, is understanding the structure and policies of your course and how to navigate that with your instructor. So when they give you that syllabus, that's going to have the guidelines, it's going to have assignments, it's going to have dates, things to do. You want to make sure you know that, because not only is it the professor holding their expectations for you, it's also an understanding of what you can expect from the instructor. So be sure to read that, keep that, and understand what's expected of you and what you can expect from them. In that vein, you're still going to be held to the same drop withdrawal deadlines and also the same student code of conduct as any other Collin College student. So you want to be aware of those as well. Think about all those things you have going on outside of dual credit if you were to sign up. If you're doing extracurriculars, if you have other honors or other AP, maybe you even have a YouTube channel for that matter. All of these things are going to take time out of your life, and you want to make sure you've allotted enough time to be successful in dual credit. Because as I mentioned, these grades will follow you. So you want to make sure that you are able to do well and that you have the time and you won't be hindered by all the other things you have going on. FERPA, this is another topic we definitely have to talk about. So FERPA is a federal law and ensures the privacy of your educational records as a college student. This isn't something that Collin has done. This isn't something that the state has done. This is a federal law. Regardless of your student's age, we have 10-year-old students, we have 13-year-old students. They're still under FERPA. Okay. That being said, when you become a Collin College student, we can't share your grades, your course schedules, your test scores, any of your educational records with anybody without your consent. And that includes your parents. Some students celebrate at that statement, which of course you're reaching a new age and you're going to have a new level of responsibility, but that's just it. When it comes to your grades, when it comes to your schedule, when it comes to your test scores, all of that is on your shoulders now. So it's your responsibility to take care of those things. And it's a great opportunity to do that before you go off and you're on your own after high school doing whatever you do. So it's a great chance to take the reins on your education and know that all of it is now up to you. So you'll need to make sure you use your Collin email when you're emailing with your professors, when you're emailing with anybody in Collin, just so we know it's you we're talking to. Or when you come in person, bring your student ID, because we want to make sure we're not giving out your information to anyone but you without your permission. So your eligibility, students complete the entire process if they want to be in dual credit. I'm going to go over that in a second. Permission must be obtained from your high school. You must be college ready based on the TSI, and you must meet both your high school and Collin's requirements to continue in the program. And we'll talk through all of that, but those things will all need to be done before you can enroll in dual credit. Now, here's a snapshot of some of the course offerings for next school year. This may change by the time it starts, but this is just a listing of the academic courses that we offered this year and expect to offer next year. So this won't include any health science courses or any technical credit that may be offered as well, but here's a snapshot of those academic classes: econ, the Englishes, government, history, and the math classes. Once again, these are transferable to public schools in Texas. Keep that in mind as well. So a short glimpse of the process: you apply for admission, you remove your holds, you register for your class, and you pay for class. Now the first step is applying for admission. So you can apply right now, right this instant, at apply.collin.edu. Please use our portal, because if you use Apply Texas or anything like that, it kind of messes up your application process a little bit. So go to apply.collin.edu and your application must be processed before you do anything else. Before you turn in any paperwork, you want to make sure that your application has been processed. So when you first get to the website, you're going to create an account. Please use your personal email, students. Please don't use your school email, because sometimes they get bounced back. You want to make sure that we can reach you if we need to. List your social security number on that first page. If you don't have it, there is a place to select that right underneath where you would input your social security number. But if you have it, please put it in, because we're going to ask for it at some point. Under intended academic goals, select yes for dual credit. If you look at that image on the right side, that's what it'll look like. So it's going to ask, will you be a high school dual credit student? Yes, you will. Make sure you select any major when you get to that point. You can select any one you like, and you could change it at any time, so I don't need to feel held to whatever you select. Residency and tuition is based on your answers on this application, so be sure to provide all of the things they ask for in the questions and make sure you answer them correctly. You will receive your Collin ID number and your email address about 3 to 5 business days after you apply. So as soon as you get done and you hit submit, you're going to get an email from us saying, welcome, thank you. And about 2 to 3 business days later, I'll say, you'll get another email with your Cougar Web username and password and your Collin ID number. So be looking out for that. That's when you know your application is processed. Now, what is Cougar Web exactly? That is where you're going to take care of all your Collin business, whether that's dropping your classes, any online trainings, paying for your tuition, etc., etc. That is where you're going to do most things when it comes to Collin College. Okay, so if you reach out, you say, Mr. Pender, I need help. I don't know what's going on. I have a headache. I don't know what to do. Most likely, I'm going to be sending you to Cougar Web to take care of whatever that is. Like I said, dropping classes, accessing your email, looking at your final grades, all of that stuff is probably going to be done here. So when you get that username and password, like I was just mentioning on the last slide, you want to be sure to go in and try to log in so you can get familiar with that. Because once again, that's where most things are going to be done. So the next thing is removing all of your holds, right? So what is a hold? So once you apply and you're admitted, you won't be able to register for a class right away. You're going to have some things that you need to turn in. And for each thing that you need to submit, you're going to have a hold on your account. Meaning we have a hold on your registration. You got to hold up. You can't register until we have all of these things submitted. So each admission step is a hold. And I'm going to go over each one of those over the next few slides. Once you get all of them done, you'll be able to register for your class. So the first thing is your high school approval. So every semester you take a dual credit class, your high school is going to have to sign on your permission form, which I'll go over in a second. That's how we know we have their approval for you to be taking these classes. It's a state requirement. Every single high school student has to have permission from their high school, and it has to be written approval. Okay, and that includes non-dual credit classes, meaning you're taking a college class that isn't going to count for high school credit. It's just going to count for college credit, which is fine, but your high school has to approve of that as well. Now, this is the high school permission form. This is what it looks like. You have to complete the application first, and once that is processed, you can turn this thing in as well. Make sure to fill in all the information at the top. You're going to have to sign. If you're under 18, your parent is going to have to sign. You're going to have to do this every single semester that you're in high school and you do dual credit. Okay, there's going to be some information at the top for you, some information at the bottom for your parent. You want to make sure you read through what all of that says. And make sure that you sign and then turn in your counselor so they can work on the backside. So this is for them. This is where your counselor is going to tell us what classes you're taking. They're going to tell us, is it for dual credit or just college credit? They're going to put any relevant information regarding any TSI waivers, which I'll go over in a minute as well. And any free and reduced lunch information will be on here as well. They'll sign, they'll turn it into us. We'll remove your hold once we get it. And that's one thing knocked off of your list. Now, don't forget to register, okay? Once all of your holds are cleared, this form does not mean you're registered. This just means that you've turned in some relevant information that we need. You still have to go online and take care of your registration, which I'll tell you how a little bit later. Now for the TSI. The TSI is designed to measure your college readiness. So you're going to take this test. They're going to test you in reading and writing and also math. And we just want to see what your level of education is in those subjects. If you place as college ready, then you can take dual credit classes. You won't be able to take any classes until you have proven that you are college level in those subjects. So if you want to take an English class, a history class, a psych class, anything like that, that is going to be based on your reading and writing score. Now, when it comes to the maths or sciences, that will be based on your math score. Okay. Now, I'm saying it like that because you can have partial completion and still be able to take a class. So if you just want to take a math course and you got the college ready score in math, but not reading and writing, you're still eligible to take that math class. Now, on the other hand, for pretty much any other class, and like I said, psych, a business class, sociology, English, history, any other class outside of the math and sciences, if you were to be complete in reading and writing, but not in math, you would still be eligible to take all those other courses. Okay, now I know it may sound a little confusing now, but once we get into the process, and if that case is yours, then we'll talk through those things and tell you what's available for you to do. Now, you can also be exempt from the TSI. If you've taken the SAT or the ACT and you've got the qualifying scores below, then you wouldn't necessarily have to take the TSI. Okay, so if you've done these and you see a score that you may have, you just want to let your counselor know, and we can go through that process and figure out what you need to do to be TSI exempt. So looking at this table, partial exemptions are possible. If you had taken the SAT and you scored over a 480 in reading and writing, but you had less than a 530 in math, you can still use that reading and writing exemption, but you would have to take the TSI so you can get that math fulfillment as well. Now, looking at the ACT, it's a little different because you can only get that partial exemption if you have the composite score first. So if you don't have at least that composite of 23, we can't even look at your scores. You wouldn't be able to be exempt with that. So you have to have the composite 23 first, and then we can look at your individual subject scores after. Now, we do need your official scores. You have to do this early in the process. If you know that you have the SAT or ACT scores that qualify you for the exemption, you're going to have to submit those officially through either College Board or through the ACT student website, and that usually takes about 11 to 12 business days, which is why we tell you to do it early. Okay, so make sure you do that. We also have waivers, which are a little different. You can use the ACT Aspire, your PSAT scores, or your STAR scores to waive you from the TSI as well. Now, for the PSAT, there's a specific version. It has to be the version that's for the National Merit Scholar Qualifier Test. Now, I also want to note that partial waivers can happen as well, just like partial exemptions. So if you qualify in one subject but not the other, you can still qualify to take some courses. Waivers are reported to us a little differently. If we go back to the high school permission form slide, you'll see that the backside has a space for TSI waivers. That is where your high school counselor will put them if you have them, and we will process them when your permission form is turned in. So there's nothing that you necessarily need to do. If you believe you have a waiver, but for some reason it wasn't put on your permission form, you just reach out to your high school coordinator for dual credit, and they will let you know if you have it for sure or not, and they'll put it on your permission form. So if you need to take the TSI, there's a few things you'll need to do. First, you complete the pre-assessment activity, which can be found on the TSI page of our website. You should get an email from assessments@collin.edu regarding testing procedures that will also kind of walk through this stuff. But you want to pay at the cashier's office or online. The test costs $29. In-person testing is available at any of our campus testing centers by appointment. Online testing is also offered if you want to do it virtually. It's going to be the same price either way. Now, you can visit our TSI testing webpage for any more details. This PowerPoint will be available for you, and you can click that link right there that says TSI testing webpage, and it'll take you directly there. If you just go to our Collin.edu website and search TSI, you can find it there as well. The TSI will be offered through Rockwall ISD this semester. Students need to be TSI compliant by March 19th. The TSI is being offered by them on February 20th and February 27th. The next step is bacterial meningitis vaccination. Dual credit students taking classes at any Collin College campus must provide proof of vaccination within the last 5 years. Okay? Now, for dual credit students like you who may be taking a class at their high school or online, you don't actually have to provide us with proof of your vaccination. You can get a dual credit vaccine waiver. Okay? By completing the permission form and signing it, there's some verbiage on that first page that I was telling you to read that is you accepting the dual credit vaccine waiver automatically. All right, so when you complete your permission form, you sign it, your parent signs it, and you turn that in, we automatically give you that vaccine waiver. But if for any reason you end up taking a class physically on one of Collin's campuses, we then need proof of your vaccination. But if you're at your high school or you're taking a class online, we don't need that. But the semester you end up taking a class physically on our campus, we have to have that vaccine. This is usually the end of the list of things you have to complete. That's the mandatory campus safety training. It's probably the quickest and the first thing you can get out the way. It's just a nice little training module. Once you get your Cougar Web login, if you log in and follow these steps, you can get that done in about 15 minutes. Once you complete the training, the hold will automatically be removed within an hour or so, and it's out of your way. So this may be the first thing you want to go ahead and do as soon as you're admitted and you get your Cougar Web information. Now, for the most part, this is going to be everything. Students will have been done with all of their holds. They've turned everything in if you completed all the things I've covered already. Now, for some of you, you may have additional holds that you'll need to take care of. If you're ever wondering what the holdup is and what is keeping you from registration, you can follow these instructions and see exactly what that is. If it's ever something we haven't covered, we have our hold resolution guide on our website. Once again, this PowerPoint will be available for you to access, and you can click this link right here that says hold resolution guide, and you can see a list of all those other things that may show up as a hold that you can complete, and it'll tell you exactly how. Now, at that point, you should be ready to register, right? The registration is really simple. For all of you dual credit students, we're going to give you a list of your courses, and we're going to give you a course registration number, also known as a CRN. Just like you have an ID as a student, your courses will have an ID, and that's what we call a CRN. You have to follow these steps, and you'll get to a point where you have to enter that CRN, and you'll be able to register for your class using that. Once you're registered, you then have to pay. As I mentioned earlier, classes are $54 per credit hour. That 3 credit hour English class I was talking about was $164. If you do the math, that comes out to $162. But there is a $2 student records fee that's added on at the end of your tuition calculation. For students that are out of county, it's $100 per credit hour, taking you up to $302 for that dual credit English class. A little higher, but still one of the lower tuition rates in Texas. Once again, for you students that are free and reduced lunch, you won't have to pay anything. Your school is just going to report that you're on free and reduced lunch, and your tuition will be waived. Tuition is paid per semester. Now, if you want to pay online, here's the steps for that. Whenever you get to this step, you just come back to the slide, follow the instructions, and you can pay online. You also can set up a payment plan. Instructions for that will be there once you get into the payment screen and you find all that information there. You can also pay in person if you want. You just come up to one of our campuses, find the cashier's desk, and you can pay right then and there. So some resources. I'm going to start off with our website. If you guys ever have any questions or are looking for something specific, this may be a great place to find it. The homepage is going to have access to different forms and FAQs, links to dedicated pages for students, parents, and even the counselors at the high schools. So you'll see some important dates and deadlines there, some of the benefits I covered, some additional resources for you as well. So you may want to check that out. Another resource is our Access Office. So for students who may need additional support in their classes or different services, those are available through our Access Office. They are there to help you guys who need accommodations for those of you that qualify, and there is a process for that as well. I suggest that as you're applying for admission, as you're going through this process, you want to concurrently be working on your accommodations process as well. So students have to self-identify, meaning they should go to our website, find the access page or contact information for access personnel, and start working through the process for getting these accommodations. Now, that being said, down at the bottom of this slide, I have the dual credit access advisor, Melissa. I have her email address down there. If you have any questions or need any help with that, you can reach out to her and she'll be able to help you get through that process. But you will have to provide documentation. There will be some meetings that have to take place, some things that you'll have to do, and you'll be able to get those accommodations. Now, you have to request them for each semester. You won't have to go through the entire process each semester, but you do have to formally request your accommodations so that you can give them to your professors. At the beginning of this presentation, I talked about you having access to all the resources that other Collin College students would have. I've listed some of those here: career services, the student center. I talked about the writing lab and math lab, and much more than that. I mean, intramurals, any of those student engagement type things you have access to as well. You also have a college and career counselor that can help you. They are on location at Rockwall, and Miss Shirley will be able to help you with anything college and career, not just Collin College. If you need to work on your FAFSA, if you're looking for scholarships, if you're just trying to select a college, if you're just trying to make sure you're on track, she's a great resource. She's very friendly and awesome to work with. So reach out to her at any time, and she'll be able to help you as well. Congratulations, you also get to buy your own books when you're in college. So to figure out what books you need, you just have to follow these steps here. It's going to take you to your schedule. You click on the name of your course, and there's going to be a link for you to figure out what books and other course materials you may need for that class. You can get them from our bookstore. In fact, the link will actually take you to our bookstore webpage for you to get them, but you're also free to get them from wherever you like as well. You can buy them, you can rent them, borrow them, whatever you want to do. Your college ID and parking sticker are free. You just have to come to campus, take your picture, pick them up at our student engagement office, and you'll be able to take that along with you. They aren't required, but if you plan on using those student services, you definitely want to get your college ID. So try to make some time to go to campus and get that whenever you're able to. Here's some important dates. Like I said, you can apply online right this instant. All your dual credit paperwork, like the permission form, is due on February 26th. You must be TSI complete by March 19th, and registration online will open April 20th. So all these steps we've covered up until registration, you want to have done by April 20th. So once again, if you have any questions, my email is available. I've had your college and career counselor's email there, and now this is the dual credit officer's email and phone number. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. I know it was a ton of information. We are here to help you. Congratulations on your first step into your college career. Thank you.